The United States sends 120 jets, 10 days to stop the nukes or a massive war begins. At exactly 4:17 a.m. local time, the dark sky above the USS Abraham Lincoln roars to life. An F-35 jet slams onto the flight deck, catching the wire at 150 miles per hour. But out in the pitch-black water, the enemy is waiting. Iranian fast attack boats are cutting through the waves, angling directly toward the United States Navy patrol route. Instead of backing away, they accelerate. Radar screens in the command center tighten. Collision alarms echo across the lower decks. The gap is closing fast. Weapons officers flip their safety covers up. This was not a navigation error. It was a political message, written in steel. Iran is testing the waters, trying to see if the Navy blinks first. But they have no idea they are provoking the wrong force at the worst possible time. The president just put a 10-day clock on the board. If you want to follow this confrontation moment by moment, hit subscribe right now. To understand why this showdown is so dangerous, you have to look at the map. The USS Abraham Lincoln is operating near the Strait of Hormuz. It is one of the most vital waterways on the planet. Over 20% of the global oil supply flows through this narrow choke point every single day. Tactically, this is an absolute nightmare for any Navy commander. The waterway is surrounded by Iranian anti-ship missile batteries, hidden deep inside the rocky coastlines. For the United States Navy, this is a 200-mile combat zone where every single enemy radar is active 24/7. A deadly threat can pop up from the shore in less than a minute. Iran knows that if they close this strait, the global economy crashes instantly. That is their ultimate leverage. They want to drag the United States into a slow, painful fight in tight quarters where massive ships cannot easily escape. But there is a very real human element to this tension. For the 5,000 sailors aboard the aircraft carrier, this is not a chess match played by politicians. This is their actual life. They are sleeping in cramped bunks just 100 feet away from where a heavy Iranian torpedo or a suicide drone could strike in the middle of the night. The physical stress is completely relentless. They know that just 7 months ago, the United States dropped 30,000-pound bunker-busting bombs on Iran nuclear sites. Iran has spent every day since then rebuilding, pouring thick concrete shields, and moving their uranium enrichment facilities deeper underground. They are ready for round two. This is not just a routine patrol. It is a highly explosive situation waiting to ignite. And every sailor knows that one wrong move, one itchy trigger finger from a guard on a speedboat will spark a massive regional war. Inside the combat center of the USS Abraham Lincoln, the room is bathed in a dim blue light. The air is cold, but the officers are sweating. A young radar technician leans into his glowing screen. He sees multiple fast contacts breaking from the Iranian coast. On his radar screen, a cluster of green dots suddenly flashes and turns deep red. That color change means one specific thing. These are not computer errors. There are real people inside those fast boats, and they are heavily armed. Track them and get a visual right now. The tactical officer barks across the room. Up on the massive flight deck, the ocean wind is howling at 40 miles per hour. The deck crew moves like a machine in the total darkness. The order comes down from the tower to scramble the fighters. 2 F-18 jets are already hooked up to the steam catapults. The pilots sit in the cockpits, breathing heavy through their oxygen masks. Inside the jet, the gloved hand of the pilot rests firmly on the throttle. He watches the deck director wave a glowing wand in the dark. He pushes the throttle forward. The engines scream, spitting bright blue fire into the night. The catapult fires with a massive thud. In exactly 2 seconds, the 45,000-pound jet goes from 0 to 160 miles per hour. The sudden speed throws the pilot violently back into his seat. Back down in the dark radar room, the finger of the young technician hovers over the defensive weapons panel. His finger actually touches the hard plastic firing button. It is just a tiny piece of plastic, but right now, it feels like the heaviest thing in the world. He waits for the order to fire. 5 seconds pass in total silence. Then 10 seconds pass. Every single second feels as long as 20. The targets are holding their course and they are exactly 8 miles out, he reports, his voice tight. The fighter jets break through the thick cloud cover, diving low over the black ocean water. Their targeting pods instantly lock onto the Iranian fast boats. The pilots can clearly see the white wake of the enemy boats in their infrared cameras. They are close enough to see the machine guns mounted on the front. The United States jets drop even lower, screaming over the boats at just 500 feet above the water. The roar of the engines hits the enemy boats like a physical wall of sound. Down below, the Iranian boats suddenly pull hard to the left, breaking their aggressive attack run. They turn back toward the safety of the rocky coast. The first wave is over, but the long night is just beginning for the crew. The fast boats were just a distraction, a probing move to see exactly how fast the United States Navy would react. 5 minutes later, the real threat finally emerges. Warning lights flash across the electronic warfare consoles inside the dark room. Vampire! Vampire! A sailor shouts the code word for incoming missiles. Iranian shore batteries have just switched their target lock radars on. They are painting the United States warships with invisible electronic beams, preparing to fire long-range anti-ship missiles. In modern naval combat, every single angle counts. Even a 5-degree turn of the ship can mean the difference between deflecting a missile and taking a direct hit to the massive engine room. The captain shouts orders across the bridge. The aircraft carrier leans hard, carving a massive white circle into the dark ocean water as it turns to present a much smaller target. Launch the electronic warfare jets right now. These specialized jets blast off the flight deck into the night sky. Their job is not to drop heavy bombs on the enemy. Their job is to completely blind the enemy. They fly straight into the invisible radar beams, pumping out massive amounts of electronic noise to jam the Iranian computer systems. For a terrifying moment inside the ship command center, there is absolutely no sound but the deep hum of the computer servers and the crash of the ocean waves against the steel hull. The entire crew is holding their breath. This is the reality of radar saturation in modern war. When an enemy fires dozens of fake signals all at once, the computer screens fill up with static and ghost targets. The human brain simply cannot process that much chaotic data fast enough. Crew fatigue sets in fast. The sailors have been standing frozen at their battle stations for 12 hours straight. Their eyes burn from staring at the bright screens. The mechanical strain on the massive ship engines is pushing the absolute limits as they run at top speed to evade the invisible threat. Suddenly, a brand new alarm blares loudly. It is not coming from the rocky shore. It is coming from the sky right above them. A swarm of Iranian suicide drones, flying extremely low over the waves to avoid the radar, has just broken through the outer defense ring. They are cheap, they are slow, and they are incredibly deadly. The automated Gatling gun on the edge of the ship spins up with a heavy mechanical whine. It fires thousands of bullets per minute. A solid wall of metal rips through the dark sky. The lead drone explodes mid-air, showering the ocean with burning orange debris. But there are 10 more drones right behind it. While the carrier fights off the drone swarm, military leaders in the United States are trying to set up the ultimate backup plan. If things go completely out of control, the military needs its massive stealth bombers to drop the biggest weapons. In the past, the United States launched these bombers from a tiny island base in the Indian Ocean called Diego Garcia. It has a 12,000-foot runway, perfectly designed for the heaviest planes. It is close enough to hit Iran, but far enough to be safe from missiles. But here is the massive twist that changes everything. Diego Garcia is actually British territory. And the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom just told the President of the United States no. The British government flat out refuses to let American bombers use the island base for offensive strikes, claiming it violates international law. The President is furious. It is a massive diplomatic crisis playing out in real time. What no one saw coming was this sudden political roadblock. The military had built their entire strike plan around that specific island. Now, the heavy bombers are completely stuck on the ground. They have to find backup bases that are much closer to enemy missiles and far more dangerous. But the brave crew on the USS Abraham Lincoln does not know this yet. The sailors fighting off explosive drones in the dark honestly think they have the full weight of the Air Force ready to back them up at a moment's notice. They firmly believe the big guns are right behind them. They have absolutely no idea they are effectively all alone out there. The safety net has been completely cut. The carrier strike group has to hold the line tonight with only the weapons they brought with them. The suspense in the ship command center is totally suffocating. If the drone swarm gets any bigger right now, there is nowhere to hide and absolutely no backup coming from the sky to save them. The clock is ticking down fast. The 10-day ultimatum from the president is expiring. Iran has to surrender its nuclear weapons program immediately, or the United States military will completely obliterate it. Back in the dark water of the strait, the night sky is lighting up. The automated guns roar once again. The heavy sound vibrates violently through the steel floorboards of the massive ship. A second suicide drone explodes right above them. The incredibly bright orange flash violently reflects off the flat flight deck. For exactly 3 seconds, every single person on the outer deck stops moving and just stares at the burning fireball falling into the Black Sea. There is total silence except for the wind. Then, the secure radio loudly crackles to life. Viper 1, weapons hot, you are cleared to engage right now. High above the heavy clouds, a fast squad of F-22 Raptors suddenly drop their stealth profiles. They open their internal weapon bays. They are hunting the Iranian jets that are trying to sneak up right behind the deadly drone swarm. Fox 3, an American fighter pilot yells over the radio channel. A long-range air-to-air missile drops from the belly of the stealth jet, rapidly ignites, and streaks across the dark sky. Down on the rough water, the USS Gerald R. Ford, the second United States aircraft carrier, has finally arrived. It pushes through the Red Sea and fully enters the combat theater. Now, the United States has over 120 combat aircraft and 2 massive floating fortresses completely ready to unleash hell. Guided missile destroyers quickly open their vertical launch tubes. Tomahawk cruise missiles are securely locked onto the thick concrete bunkers inside Iran. At the exact same time, the Iranian supreme leader posts a terrifying warning on the internet. He shows a fake computer-generated image of the United States aircraft carrier violently sinking to the bottom of the deep ocean. He is promising to launch hundreds of ballistic missiles at American bases across the entire Middle East if a single United States bomb touches Iranian soil. The digital crosshairs are completely locked. The pilots have their fingers resting on the triggers. The radar operators are staring at screens completely filled with hostile enemy targets. Command: we have a hard lock, and we are eagerly awaiting your final word. The entire world holds its breath. There is no more talking to do. The drones are destroyed. The United States ship makes it through the night without a scratch. The Iranian fast boats retreat into their hidden coves. The fighter jets return to base empty. The immediate battle is over, but the actual war has not started. This night proved a terrifying new reality in modern naval warfare. It proves how cheap $20,000 suicide drones can force a massive $13 billion nuclear aircraft carrier to stop and fight for its life. Iran does not need to destroy the United States Navy to win. They just need to make the daily cost of operating so incredibly high and so physically exhausting that the American public demands the ships come home. The military buildup costs the United States millions every single day. Iran is playing a waiting game inside their newly fortified mountain bunkers. They dug tunnels deeper and poured thicker concrete over their nuclear labs. Now, the president faces a brutal choice. A limited missile strike will not stop the nuclear weapons program. A massive bomb strike might stop the nukes, but it guarantees a massive Iranian missile barrage on United States troops across the region. The 10-day window is closing. Remember, this drone swarm in the dark water was just a test. Iran was mapping out the United States response times. They recorded exactly how the American radars reacted. The next strike will not be a practice run. They might not give the United States Navy 10 seconds to react next time. If you were sitting in the Oval Office right now, what order would you give? Do you order the bombers to strike before Iran finishes their weapon? Or do you pull back to avoid a massive war? Drop your battle plan in the comments below. This is happening right now. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe so you do not miss the next update. The countdown clock is running fast. I will see you in the next video.